Tonight on the Bayou Breakdown.
LSU football's explosive offensive performance against Southeastern.
Kelsey Major's path to become the LSU soccer team captain.
And is McLaren's Shaky weekend opening a spot for Verstappen.
All that and more, the Bayou Breakdown starts now. Welcome to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Olivia Girardi.
And I'm Kennedy Banks.
And we're going to kick off tonight's show with LSU football as the Tigers hosted their third straight ninth game in Death Valley, this one against Southeastern. Now, I was super happy with how this game turned out. I mean, the offense just absolutely came alive. It was the spark they needed. 530 yards, 32 first downs, and they were 3 for 3 with fourth down. But Kenny, what did you see that you liked?
I think it was really important for this offense to get going like they did, and it was super important for Garrett Nussmeier to show his arm off and really show what this team can do and what this offense has the ability to do, which we haven't seen before this.
I absolutely agree. It looks like Garrett specifically finally found his spark, and after putting up that explosive performance. Reporter Breja Clark had the story on how the Tigers got it done Saturday.
With yet another sold-out game in Tiger Stadium, the Tigers would come out with a win against the Southeastern Lions 56-10, improving their winning streak to 4. The LSU offense would begin the game with a 3-and-out, but that did not last long as the Tigers would score a touchdown late in the first quarter. The Tigers would go on to score 28 points in the second quarter, putting the game out of reach and completely shutting out Southeastern. They would continue with that momentum after the half to get the win over the Lions. The LSU offense would have their best performance of the season as quarterback Garrett Nussmeier would throw for 273 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nussmeier says the offense is finally clicking and excited about how they play tonight. With no worries about being perfect, they went out and had fun.
Just kind of excited about the way we played tonight, excited about how we came together as a unit and kind of established that rhythm that we've been looking for all year. It looked like we were out there having fun, we were playing football and enjoying it, and I think that's been a big thing for us.
Running back Juwan Johnson ended the night with 43 yards and 2 touchdowns. The sophomore said the offense focused on preparation, which was a big step for the offensive side of the ball.
The offense, we did very good tonight, honestly. I think that we were more exclusive in the run game, pass game. I think the whole line did a fantastic job, and we were good.
Head coach Brian Kelly is pleased with Nussmeier and the offensive performance. He knows they made progress and have to build on that as they get deeper into SEC play.
There's no perfection out there, but there was definitely some progress. So we made the progress that we were looking for. Now we got to build on that. Going into Ole Miss on the road.
The Tigers offense have shown signs of improvement in their passing game. As they get deeper in their schedule, they will have to stay consistent in order to come out victorious. The Tigers will travel to Oxford to take on Ole Miss as both of these teams are undefeated, but only one team can come out with the win. For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Breja Clark.
And while it took some time to get there, the Tigers are looking to bring that explosive offense with them to Ole Miss.
Yeah, and reporter Gia Picarella is outside football ops with Coach Kelly's thoughts about the offensive performance against Southeastern and what he expects in Oxford. Gia?
Thanks, Kennedy. I'm outside the football ops right now where Brian Kelly wrapped up his press conference earlier today. Now, before Southeastern, we heard him talk about how he wanted to see the offense loosen up, not play so tight. That's what made Southeastern such an essential game for this offense. We saw them work out those kinks. I mean, besides the first drive, the Tigers were putting points up on the board. Now, they're going to have to carry that explosiveness into SEC play, especially in Oxford.
I want our teams not to be so scripted, and I thought we got a little scripted offensively, to the point where, it was so planned out, and then the game starts. And then you got to adapt and adjust. And so I think as you talk about the offensive structure, I think it's continually find ways to run the ball and have a running game. And then let Garrett Nussmeier do what he does, and he loves to throw the football down the field.
I couldn't agree more with what Brian Kelly had to say. I really want to see this offense continue to get more and more comfortable every week and put those points up on the board. But I also want to see a strong front from this offensive line. For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Gia Picarella. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Gia. Earlier today, according to a report made by On3 Sports, later confirmed by The Athletic, LSU has its 3 permanent opponents, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Now, some fans were surprised that the Tigers won't face Alabama and Florida on a yearly basis.
Yeah, Kennedy, it definitely took a lot of Tiger fans by surprise. But talking about the SEC, we saw an amazing matchup this past Saturday between Auburn and Oklahoma. Now, this was a huge game for Oklahoma defensively. They put up 10 sacks, but they also have John Mateer, my personal favorite for the Heisman this year. He had 271 yards and 1 touchdown and was no comparison to Jackson Arnold, the former quarterback for Oklahoma. He transferred to Auburn. But after the break, we'll take a look at some of LSU football's most promising recruits for 2026.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now, we had a tough NFL Sunday with some major upsets, but the Saints weren't even close to being one of them. The Saints became the first team in NFL history to gain over 280 yards, give fewer than 300. They didn't lose a turnover battle, and they still lost by 30 points. Seattle was leading 38-6 by halftime. This has to be one of the toughest quarters of football I've ever had to watch. And I've watched a lot of football. I mean, 9 first quarter penalties by the Saints. It was a tough week for both of us, though.
Yeah, we saw your Saints and my beloved Falcons just get absolutely ripped by their opponents this weekend. But hey, maybe next Sunday will be better.
Maybe. And it was definitely not a fun Sunday for us this week. But as we continue talking about football, Tiger TV's Devin Whitson is in the studio to tell us about the future of LSU football. Devin?
Well, thanks, Kennedy. As the season has begun to kick into full swing, LSU has made many moves off the field so far this year. My name is Devin Whitson, and this is the Recruit Recap. Now, firstly, we're going to take a look at Jabari Mack out of Destrehan, Louisiana, out of Destrehan High School. Mack comes in as the number 3 ranked wide receiver in the state, and he's listed at 6 foot 200 pounds with a 40 time of 4.5 and a vertical nearly of 37 inches. Mack could be one of the next great Tiger wideouts from Destrehan, following the steps of a certain Justin Jefferson. Now, so far this season, he's been an impact player for the Wildcats. Now, you're probably wondering, what makes him scary? It's not just his impact in the red zone, but it's the fact that he can shine on both sides of the ball. I mean, against Catholic, Mack recorded a 100-yard pick six, showing that he can make an impact as a DB2. Now, next up is Isaiah Washington. Washington comes out of Haynesville, Louisiana, from Haynesville High. Now, you're probably gonna let him go under the radar. I mean, he's 6 foot, he's 171 pounds. But I'm here to tell you, not so fast, my friend. Washington is a defensive menace, whether it's blowing up opposing offenses or if he needs to reach out and pull off a wild interception. Washington can be someone who can definitely, with some time, a force to be reckoned with. Now, lastly, we're heading to California to look at Davion Finley out of Chatsworth, California, by way of Sierra Canyon High School. 6'2", 170-pound defensive back is someone who I believe can make an instant impact. Now, already this season, Finley has recorded a 90-yard pick six in the Trailblazers season opening victory, and has been a big part of Sierra Canyon starting up the season 5-0. Now, Finney is definitely someone I keep my eye out for the rest of the season. As LSU currently sits with the 11th-ranked class in the nation, the Tigers hope that they can add a bit more firepower before early signing day on December 3rd. Now, after the break, we're going to take a quick look at the unexpected result at F1's Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
A weekend for Formula One fans is we had the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, going into this, we knew it would be kind of a rocky Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri crashed out of qualifying, and maybe we thought, oh, he could come back. Nope, he's going to do the exact same thing on lap 1, right into the wall. Lando Norris, his closest contender, came in P7, and Max Verstappen has come from behind. Maybe he's in for the Drivers' Championship. Formula One will head to Singapore and then come back to the U.S. for the Grand Prix in Austin, Texas.
LSU athletes are known for their dedication on the court, but one Tiger is also turning heads with a talent that's a little less common. Tiger TV's Taylor Johnson has more on the story.
While some of us cure our boredom by scrolling through our phones or reading a book, a current LSU beach volleyball player uses her spare time learning different skills.
I can actually maneuver now.
Julia Sprecher is a sophomore at LSU with an unusual talent.
I started unicycling in 2020 during COVID.
Last year, Julia made her debut for the Tigers in jersey number 12. But as hard as it was to break through as a freshman starting at a D1 school, unicycling wasn't easy to learn either.
Mounting it was that's the first task, is getting over getting onto the unicycle.
She says the key to success in both beach volleyball and unicycling is taking it one step at a time.
Originally, it's very much holding on to stuff, trial and error, how do I get onto this thing and then start pedaling.
The two sports do have commonalities, but when it comes down to it, Julia says beach volleyball is harder to master.
I feel the mental aspect of beach volleyball, decision making, reading the court, just being dynamic, that takes a lot of work. And unicycling also does take a lot of work, but to me it's more therapeutic.
Like beach volleyball, riding a unicycle is about coordination, persistence, and trust.
From her first wobbly ride on a one-wheeler to the first time stepping onto the court as a freshman starter, Julia has shown the drive and perseverance it takes to be an LSU athlete. For Tiger TV, I'm Taylor Johnson.
Definitely not your average hobby. And speaking of LSU student athletes, Juliette Marino is in the studio to tell us more about Kelsey Major's path to becoming the LSU soccer captain. Juliette.
Being captain is a huge honor, but at LSU, you have to earn it. When Kelsey Major received that honor for LSU soccer, she didn't even realize it until her team started cheering. But once it hit her, she understood how 2 major injuries in her career shaped her as the leader she is today. For Kelsey Major, soccer has always been an element of her life. It was something she kept a part of her since she was 7 years old. But like every athlete knows, sports come with highs and lows. And for Major, that low was an ACL injury her junior year of high school that would change her career.
So then came home, went to the doctor, and I was pretty devastated. Didn't really expect it to be me at all. Mentally, it was just hard to know that I was ready to be playing, but physically, like, my body just wasn't there yet.
But within 5 to 6 months after her surgery, Major was back on the field like she never left. After winning a state championship her senior year and signing with LSU, Major felt like it was the time for a new chapter in her life. Little did she know, another ACL injury would come her way. And for Major, this one was more different than the first time around.
And then for it to happen again right before I felt like I was about to start fresh, get here at LSU, that definitely, it ruined me for probably a couple months. Just my whole future I had planned out, and I had to kind of, start over again.
Since recovery and through resilience, Major has become the symbol of LSU soccer. And for Coach Hudson, Major is the example of what makes this program so special.
Look, Kelsey's just an unbelievable team player. She just makes things happen through her work rate, through her intensity in her press. Obviously a home state girl, she loves to represent LSU and bleeds purple and gold.
As LSU season continues, Kelsey has been that leader her team needs. And for her, well, that's the major goal. Kelsey Major and LSU soccer continue to aim for success this season in hopes of making the NCAA tournament for the 5th consecutive year. After the break, we'll tell you our picks for what could be the best Monday night of the year.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. For this week's Play of the Week, we're going to head over to Citi Field for some MLB baseball. Now check this out. Nationals are visiting the Mets. Jacob Young makes one of the craziest catches I've ever seen. You can call this a little hacky sack catch. Watch this. Into the glove, off the top of the foot, and back into the glove for the out again. The game was 3-1 with the Nationals winning in the 5th, but we're going to close it out with one of the best Monday night football games of the year, Detroit visiting the Ravens. What's your take on this one, Kennedy?
I'm going to go with the team with Lamar Jackson. I think he's the best quarterback in football.
Yeah, I am always been a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe, so I'm going to go with the Ravens too, and of course Derrick Henry. But that's all the time we have for this week's edition of the Bayou Breakdown. And be sure to keep up with our socials at LSU Tiger TV.
And be sure to watch our shows live at 5 Monday through Thursday. For Tiger TV, I'm Kennedy Banks.
And I'm Olivia Girardi. Have a great night.